Podcast for life.
Doggy Charles. Yeah. Let's go. Yeah. The microphone messiah. Yeah. It's the microphone messiah. And Mr. No Days Off. Microphone messiah. Mr. No Days Off. Phil, Brandon, what's good, y'all? Let's go. Bullet Cast host. Look, this is the time for us to be great on podcasts. Let you know this is the time and how the vibe lasts. This is the feeling of time and when we on it. You know we got no time for no opponent, just the feeling. This is the time of the greats on everything that we
Yo, what's going on, ladies and gentlemen? You already know what this game is. It's the podcast game. We had it on a chokehold at some point. I would like to think so. Microphone aside, Phillip Brandon, the Canadian Destroyer, BT Brandon Tanguma. Brandon, it's Thursday?
Yeah, that's what I've been told. We're on episode 449.
Let's light it up.
Let's light it up. We've done a lot of things, but I think this might be the first Thursday evening podcast we've ever done. So, we're still setting records here on Bulletcast, whatever show this is. I can't remember. I can't keep track anymore.
They're all the same.
Mm-hmm.
They're all the same. Yeah, man, let's light it up. We are going to talk about how it's getting lit up. Saudi Arabia may be lit up with big PLEs coming up. The rumor has it that WrestleMania 43 will be in Saudi Arabia. Hunter Triple H has said he's going to make a big announcement at 3 p.m. What's Pacific Standard Time or Eastern on the WWE YouTube channel and socials. So be on the lookout for that tomorrow. Man, I mean, they've been pushing for it. I mean, I know that. The memes are already going around. WrestleMania is going to be Rock versus Austin, Brock versus Angle, all these old timers, or people who are no longer doing this. Just a lot of funny memes going around right now. But in all seriousness, bro, do you think it's there? They've never announced that far in advance.
I mean, there was a Saudi Arabian sports official that was doing some sort of ad or some sort of media thing, and he let it slip that apparently WrestleMania is coming to Saudi Arabia in 2027. Now, that was kind of the first thing I heard of. Now, why would they lie about something like that? Maybe they're just, we hear politicians and stuff all the time say like, oh yeah, we're going to do all these great things and bring these things to our town, and then it ends up never happening. But, they opened the door with Saudi Arabia hosting Royal Rumble next year. We kind of talked about, maybe they'll have a WrestleMania that's not actually WrestleMania in Saudi, but no, it seems as though they'll be having like an actual numbered, 43 WrestleMania in 27. And
I think WrestleMania should just be Vegas forever. It's just so easy to get to for us. Yeah, I mean, there were the talks of maybe they'll do how they did the Greatest Royal Rumble. Yeah, which we're gonna have to do like a bonus podcast and really discuss the WWE Saudi, not just relationship, but the shows, how they've aged over time. Because maybe we have to rewatch those first couple to really get a grip on what we've got now.
I mean, at first they were kind of like their own little shows that were kind of like very, very, very glorified house shows that kind of were just in their own bubble. You could watch it if you want. And people would boycott it. And people do still boycott the Saudi shows. But now the Saudi Arabia shows have become more and more canon and more kind of a part of the weekly television. Yeah. So, and the ultimate part of television is WrestleMania. And so I think this is going to be a big, and we are still at a year and a half away from that show allegedly taking place. But WWE may not be in the greatest, place in terms of like fan love right now, and maybe this could be the breaking point, whether it is when it is announced or when the show starts getting ramped up, this time next year.
I mean, speaking of fan service, with Nick Khan was spotted by a fan, said the WWE ticket prices are too high, and he was like, "Yeah, I know." And then I guess the report
Mark
came out.
Shapiro during the conference call for TKO basically blamed Vince McMahon for pricing having ticket prices set for families, and they're not happy where ticket prices or tickets are for WWE compared to UFC, because UFC are insane, especially for, I mean, the pay-per-views for the most part, is they just jack those prices up so much, and they're trying to do that with
He
WWE.
blamed Vince for making it affordable.
Basically, I mean, that's what Mark Shapiro said on the conference call, and I mean, at the moment, these tickets are too crazy. And
Yeah, I just looked at for the SmackDown in San Jose. I'm like, bro, I used to pay that, and I would be on the floor. Like, what are we doing? The 200 section, I gotta pay $200 something to be in the 200s.
I mean, I don't want to say I told you so, but check the tape whenever TKO bought WWE.
So, I mean, do we miss Vince? Are we gonna say it?
I mean, I do not miss the Vince creative process, but
I
there
think
definitely are aspects that,
yes.
as a family owned, this is my own thing business, that has changed once TKO took over.
Yeah, I think we can agree that there were certain standards and practices. You remember the DX parody with the USA Network? There are certain standards and practices that Vince did do that was more affordable for people to go. Like I remember seeing people like they bring their wife, their kids, this their families, they bring their families. You could sit there, chill, enjoy, and here we are, man. Jesus. Did we talk about Skinny Rock last week? I don't remember if we did. The
We
Rock is
did,
very
but that was
thin.
after the podcast because it like just came out while we were recording.
Yeah, The Rock is very thin now. Apparently he's getting ready for another movie role, and it's come out that his main focus is on acting. So was that it for the final boss? Is the John Cena heel turn the last time we will ever see the final boss?
I don't think it'll be the last time we ever see The Rock on WWE television, but
Talk about the final boss.
the final boss, possibly.
Because man, we people are poo pooing on The Rock for not being there, not showing up, but I look at the final boss run because I mean, it's probably biased because I went to WrestleMania 40, but man, that from when Rock showed up to take Cody's spot up until the end of WrestleMania 40, I mean that whole run into WrestleMania was so much fun. He made appearances like basically almost every week. He made a couple surprise appearances. Like I don't know, man. Hopefully we can get Rock back to kind of just tie up some things. I would hope. Are you still clamoring for Rock versus Roman? Or were you ever
I don't know if I'd
clamoring?
say clamoring, because now that we're 2025, the peak of Roman has passed us. I mean, the match itself would still be interesting. I would like to see where it would go, but it's not 23, 22, 21 when that definitely was kind of like the match that everyone wanted to see.
Or let me put it
And
to you like this: would you have rather have seen? And he was in the run of it all. Roman Reigns, the big bad tribal chief, undisputed champion. WrestleMania 40. Would you have rather seen Nostalgia Rock or Cody finish that story?
I still think there could have been a story to be told where you could do Roman Rock night one and then Roman Cena night two, or Roman Rhodes night two, and Cody can do his own thing night one, so it's not like a complete, the heel wrestles two nights. But like Roman Rock could have been like the SmackDown story, while Roman and Cody was the Raw story or whatever. So
Possibly. I mean, you could have done something like that because Roman and Cody, they all worked two nights anyway. Yeah. Pat McAfee had the game on his show. Triple H talked about a couple of things like WrestlePalooza, how quickly it all came together, and he dropped it that Cody will be in Indianapolis for WrestlePalooza. I guess he's finished or wrapping up his filming of Street Fighter.
yeah, it was one of those, another media thing that Triple H does. He's been on Pat McAfee, I think, a few times. He did let it slip that he was doing the Kill Tony podcast on Monday, so he wasn't at Raw, and he hasn't even seen the show yet, which was kind of interesting that, like, the head of creative the day after Monday Night Raw doesn't really know what's going on with Raw. Like, I'm not, it's just, it's a little kind of eye roll, like, okay, what are you doing, buddy? Like, you don't
Well,
even...
no. So, but then have you seen the quote from the show about him taking more time? Because what you call it? He was talking about like how he was in Greece with Stephanie and the kids, and he said that was like the first time in like 20 something years where he can kind of just relax and he knows that everything's taken care of. And I mean, it goes back to Roman Reigns was on the Stephanie podcast, and Roman said this was probably the most important thing he learned from Vince. When you're at home, be present in the moment. So maybe that's what he was doing. Like he's at that stage in his life, and he has the heart murmur and everything going on. There are times where he needs to take some time off and to kind of be in the moment with his family.
Yeah, and also, coincides with quotes that Nick Khan made a couple weeks ago, where he said that he's the complete opposite, where if I call you at 2 o'clock in the morning, you better pick up on the first ring. And like he's a go 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 type of guy, and Triple H was that. Vince McMahon was that, but I think there is definitely a middle ground where you can be a hardworking person and yet still have a life outside of your job.
I mean, Hunter, he wasn't there like if it was like the go home show to a big pay per view like WrestlePalooza, all right, then hey, but like if we're a couple weeks out, plus like the people he has there, he has Abyss there, he has Bruce Pritchard, he has P.S. Hayes, he has some guys that have been there for a few years, he has guys that were there for decades, and all these other things. Yeah, so go check out the Pat McAfee Triple H interview. It's a good listen. MJF, Maxwell Jacob Friedman got married to Alicia too, the former Ambi blogger. So in backstage interviewer. So congratulations to the happy couple. The photos, they all look made, major.
Yeah, congrats to them. Did not even realize that they were engaged, let alone getting married. So yeah, MJF talked a little bit about it. He cut a promo on Collision on Saturday that then aired on Dynamite. Talking about it. So, congrats to them. Hopefully, this wrestling wedding pans out.
Yes, and then also he was cast in Violent Night 2 with you remember King Batch, the Viner?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they're casting this movie together, so we shall see. Wardlow torn pec.
Yeah, unfortunately, as quick as the Wardlow debut happened, it has already ended. He tore his pec, allegedly, according to my boy Wade Keller. He on the clothesline to Prince Nana at Forbidden Door, and he has been
Really? He tore his pec off a clothesline?
He's been off television ever since, which was, it didn't really I didn't really think of it because I was kind of thinking more about Swerve being off television. So clearly, if Wardlow's going after Swerve and Swerve's not there, it kind of makes sense for Wardlow not to do anything. But then also you want to push him and kind of give him some squash matches or whatever, build him up before Swerve comes back. So unfortunately, another stop-start, the ultimate start-stop for Wardlow.
His start-stop has to be studied. Like, who had a worse start-stop in the history of this business? Is it Wardlow? Could we say?
I mean, it comes back, he had the horrible timing because his biggest match of his career against MJF was kind of halted by that whole work shoot contract thing, which I still don't even really know what happened there.
It doesn't work. I mean,
yeah. But then, he gets injured here, and it kind of goes to him, being one of those overly muscular guys. This is a very
TNT title run.
It's a very athletic business, especially in AEW, where he stands out. He doesn't need to be as big as he is, but he is. And,
have you ever?
Guys like Brian Cage have gotten hurt like that too.
Have you ever seen his indie stuff, Wardlow?
Yeah, I mean, he does the flippy doos, he does all that shit, and
he has. I mean, he has. When was the last time he did it on the Indies? I mean, he hasn't done it in like 5 years. I don't know. Do you think Wardlow should go to NXT, bro? Like, because I'm looking at like eventually Oba's gonna leave, and then we'll talk about NXT. They got a lot of returners this past week, but like Oba's gonna leave eventually. Trick's gonna go. Wardlow would kind of be like that thing to like pick that up.
I mean, Wardlow's one of those guys that if he were to leave AEW, I think AEW would be losing something, but they're not utilizing him at all. So it's not like, in the present, they're kind of like losing a big star. But if he were to go to WWE,
like what if he I
mean,
shows up?
Wardlow stands out more in AEW than he would in WWE because Wardlow's not that tall. I think he's probably like 6. Let's see, how tall is Wardlow? Because he's a big dude, but he's not WWE big.
I don't know, but if he were to like to incorporate every once in a blue moon,
yeah, he's 6'2".
Like, one of the flips. That's what I'm saying. Like, because I mean, AEW is the land of the flippy doos. So like, even if he does it, like it's like okay. But then if he were to come to WWE, a man his size doing it, like whoa, like what are we doing? You know what I'm saying? It was like when Vader would just Bam Bam would bust out the moonsault, like hey, holy crap, So I don't know. I can just see like Wardlow showing up and just desecrating Javon Evans. That's not desecrate, but demolish. Sorry.
Yeah, so Cody's 6'2", so he's the same height as Cody. So he's
Cody
not,
Luther King.
and Cody's not seen as a big guy.
I
So
mean,
it's
you've
like
stood next to Cody Rhodes, you know.
he's a rather tall, strapping young lad, even though he's what 40 now, gonna be 40, is 40.
Yeah,
Happy
yeah.
birthday to Cody, June 30th.
Yes, yeah. Why are you saying happy birthday? What's
I don't
up?
know.
Brian Danielson, full time Dynamite announcer.
Yeah, he made his entrance on Dynamite to kick the show off,
All that.
and they also made the announcement, I believe, on social media that I guess he's replacing Tony Schiavone, and Tony Schiavone is going to be kind of the full guy over there at on Collision. But yeah, so
Are they still in the 2300?
for now, I don't know if they're still going to be there for Saturday, but they were there for Dynamite on Wednesday. So yeah, Brian Danielson in the full-time role. So it looks like it's going to be him, Excalibur, and Taz. So probably Taz leans a little bit more heel than he had been in the past, or maybe Brian leans a little bit more heel because Tony Schiavone was kind of like the kind of dumb
Dude,
babyface announcer.
I
So
want
maybe they
my
kind of play the same role, but
I want
uh,
my Taz run, bro. I need an FTW championship.
well, I mean, he still has the belt because Hook gave it to him.
No, like, does he have the original one?
I mean, he probably does.
Sure, yeah, the original FTW title.
But yeah, I mean, I thought Brian Danielson was very good when he was at Forbidden Door. You know, that whole bunch of shows over in the UK. So he's going to get a more run in it in the Dynamite, and he did say that if he attacks anybody, regardless if it's a Death Rise or anyone, he will be fired. So they kind of threw that caveat in there that he can't get physical at all. He did talk about how
Ebrai.
he's retired. I mean, retired from full time, and how he feels like he can't keep up with AEW anymore. And if he were to do anything, he wanted to do like random indie show stuff, which we saw. He popped up in Mexico and did some stuff there.
Bro, Daniel Bryan. Oh, is this confirmed?
Maybe.
Napa, right? It's just short, brother. What, an hour and a half?
I don't know what his rate is, but he'll just do it for the love of the game.
Yeah, come on now for the love of the game. Hello. AJ Lee's back. Let's light it up. The worst kept secret.
Second worst kept secret behind her husband.
Yes. Both times. The first time for sure.
Definitely the first time.
Yeah.
Second time was a little bit of a surprise.
Yeah. So SmackDown happens. Seth's up in the crowd. Becky's in the ring. Punk is out there, She's slapping him around, and he says, "I would never put my hands on a woman, but I know somebody that will." And then it happened. Let's light it up. AJ Lee is back. It's been 10 long years. Brandon, you bought her book. She made you read a book.
I know. I was a little disappointed in the book, but I still read the book.
Oh, okay. We don't have to say it.
Sorry. It was a little bit more about mental health, God bless, than it was like actual about wrestling. But still, she made me read a book.
You read the whole thing.
I did read the whole thing.
You feel like your mental health has improved since you've read that book?
It was definitely more catered towards, young women than me, but
did it help you in any way?
It definitely passed time while I was on BART going to school.
There we go.
It helped me there.
That's how long ago the book came out?
Yeah.
Jesus Christ. But yes, AJ's back, man. I didn't really tell how nostalgic I'd feel about the song. Let's light it up, light it. I love it. I'm happy she's back, man. She skips to the ring. She sits on the ropes like she used to, and then just starts beating the hell out of Becky Lynch. Holds up the Intercontinental title, and then you see all the camera work, that all the videos that's happening after SmackDown goes off the air, and she's just celebrating with the Chicago crowd. Man, how do you feel?
I'm excited that AJ Lee's back. It's no secret that I'm a big fan of hers from back in the day. I was a little intrigued to see how the crowd would react, and it's Chicago, so they're going to be a little more apt to cheer her because of the Punk connection. She didn't get the best reaction on Raw, but we'll talk a little more about that on in terms of like just her entrance. I thought what she actually did was pretty good, but on SmackDown, it was a good time. Blew up on the internet. It was like I said, I was you're in a bubble, so you don't know exactly how much people actually care about, but it does seem like there is a genuine kind of, nostalgia for AJ Lee. And AJ Lee, like, she was not like the biggest deal like in the world. Like she didn't have like a Becky Lynch type moment. She just was like a solid, she had her championship run. She was just kind of in the mid card. She was Raw GM for a little bit, but she was.
She almost married Daniel Bryan.
She clearly had her impact on the fans of that era.
Roxanne Perez is very happy.
Yeah.
So you've seen the photos. Yeah, man. Congrats to AJ Lee, man. I just keep thinking back to the promo she cut on the Total Divas. You guys will never be able to lace up my Chuck Taylors. I said, "Ooh, that's still one of my favorite burns." Like, oh, she got him. Can we get a Nikki Bella AJ Lee feud? Is that wrong to ask for? The anti diva versus the biggest total diva.
Well, I think Nikki Bella would have to turn heel. I just don't think she's going to do that.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see what happens. Cena and Sami Zayn cooked on SmackDown. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
Cody, I'm doing the Cody Cena thing right now. Cena cut a, perfectly fine promo, a little heartfelt, kind of all over the place, talk about Chicago. As much as I'm not a big Cena fan and like him retiring doesn't really mean that much to me.
What are you
Hi- hi-
talking about?
him,
We're the same. He was R. Hogan. What
I was
do you mean?
never the biggest Cena, but let me clarify. Him not, him leaving SmackDown, being the last SmackDown that he'll be on did get me a little bit. Like I didn't cry or anything, but that was definitely the peak of my Cena fandom was the early rapper era, on SmackDown, tuning into UPN as a young lad.
We gotta get a Thugonomics at some point. I mean, we got what 6 dates left. We gotta get a Thugonomics or something, man. But yeah, man, Cena talks about all the stuff he did in Chicago, wrestling Triple H there, CM Punk beating him, putting the title in the fridge, walking down there, attacking or slapping Kurt Angle. Sami Zayn comes out there because Cena said he did have open challenges there. Uh, what you call it? Open challenges there or whatnot. Sami Zayn comes out there and said, I debuted with an open challenge against you. Let's do one right here tonight if it's your last SmackDown. And then they go for it, man. I mean, Cena, he's doing these things where he realizes, all right, I'm not gonna be able to get out. I'm probably not gonna be able to get out there with this guy and that guy. So let me throw the nod. I mean, angle slam, ankle lock. What else did he do? The go to sleep, and then the spear. That did I probably popped bigger for the spear. I mean, he did the whole setup, and it was a nod to his greatest rival. You know, yeah, man. What are your thoughts on all this whole match, man? It was just fire.
It was interesting. Cena or pause. Sami Zayn came out and he was booed pretty badly by the Chicago crowd. I don't know. You can't read
Yeah.
too much into it. You don't want to read too much into it because it's 1 week. It is Chicago, but you would think a Chicago crowd would be very into Sami Zayn El Generico.
So
But
yeah, let's talk about that because like you know how like when a crowd does one thing 1 week and then it travels to the next town they're gonna go to. I don't think it'll do that for Sami Zayn. I've been hearing things on all these different podcasts like people are tired of the underdog act, but I'm like, well, he's a United States champion, not really an underdog anymore. You know what I'm saying? Are people just ready for Sammy to be world champion?
I don't know if they're ready for Sami to do anything right now because, he got a very good reaction. He was, had the match in France, which is kind of like his third hometown.
All right, look,
Um,
I'm gonna call it right now. Riyadh 2026. Sammy wins the Rumble.
and that's the other thing is like he gets a good reaction in Canada, Riyadh, Saudi Arabia, and then he gets one in France. So it's like if you can do stuff in those three countries, but clearly in Chicago they weren't the biggest fan of him. Now I don't know if that's going to travel. It could just be a one-off thing, but you never know because people call him Sammy Hogan because of this because he didn't put over whatchamacallit, Karrion Kross, but Karrion Kross, isn't getting those chants anymore. So I don't know
I mean,
why.
well, that's not his decision. So
I
I mean,
know,
what is
I
it?
know.
What does it matter?
It's the internet. There's a lot of things that don't mean anything that they
I
still
mean,
complain
it
about.
wasn't his decision, but the match was fire. Brock Lesnar's music hits. What's the move called? F5 to Sami Zayn, 2 to John Cena. WrestlePalooza's official. The Beast Incarnate versus Big Match John one last time. Indianapolis. Yeah.
Yeah, and very quick to the point. Interesting that Cena hasn't really acknowledged Brock too much, and then Brock gets physical. He just says like that one sentence in Gorilla, and then the match is made. And I mean, I don't know, like what we got two more, no, one more show, and is I would assume Cena's going to be on the Raw on Monday. So is he like kind of fired up promo about Brock and their history, and then that's about it?
Well, Brock's gonna be on SmackDown tomorrow, so we'll
But
see.
Cena's not going to be there, and Brock's not gonna stay in the middle of the ring and talk for 10 minutes.
We don't know that. Remember Cowboy Brock? Cowboy Brock was talking.
Mhm.
We'll see. We shall see. Aleister Black KO's Priest. What's going on with Damian Priest, bro?
I don't know. He's just kind of in that purgatory of, he is somewhat protected, but he's like the ultimate mid Carter, like upper mid Carter. Eh, definitely mid Carter. So I don't know.
The long fall from the world title run.
I mean, he's a baby face on SmackDown where now both champions are baby faces. So it's like you're not gonna challenge Cody, you're not gonna challenge Sammy, at least currently. So I don't know what you
I
do
mean,
with
he
them.
is a former U.S. champion. Oh, I don't know. Maybe he needs to go back to the homecoming. I feel like that's a refresher. We'll get to that. Aaliyah Mysterio's training. She was training at the dungeon with Natty, and I saw her with a whole bunch of other talent. Leah Mysterio next up.
Possibly. I mean, I don't know. I don't really know too much about her physical background. I mean, I don't think Dominic really had much. I mean, he definitely has like more of the size compared to
Oh, they
Aaliyah and
played high
his
school
dad.
ball.
But yeah, if she wants to do it, nothing stopping her. Clearly, it traveled the Mysterio talent traveled to Dominic. Maybe she got some of it too.
Well, Dominic Guerrero. I don't know if you knew that.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that. So maybe that's me. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm sure. I'm sure Aaliyah's going. She's going to pop off. Mello and others return to NXT. DIY returned, and they're going to go up against Trick Williams. Trick Williams said he brought backup, and Carmelo Hayes. Does Carmelo Hayes feel instantly more important going back down to NXT? I mean, he's been doing his thing with the Miz. They're kind of starting to descent, and it looks like Melo's trying to go after the U.S. title, but Miz is kind of in his way. But do you feel? I don't know, man. I felt like he instantly felt more important once he went back down to NXT because down to NXT. I know you weren't the fan, but he was the man. The cruiserweight title, the North American title, and the NXT title run. He was the man down
Yeah, and even though I'm not like, I still thought they could do something with Mello on the main roster, and they still haven't done it. I mean, anytime a main roster person comes to NXT, they're going to get a big reaction. So I don't want to put too much stock into, Mello coming back to NXT because that's just kind of the NXT crowd's going to pop for anyone who's not normally on the show. But it's always nice to see people kind of in their element compared to, what he's kind of doing in, on SmackDown where he's with The Miz and clearly there's something going on there. He has a story, which is better than not, sitting in the back of catering, but it's not exactly where people thought Carmelo would be this deep into his run.
I know the first draft picked and all that other stuff, and here we are. Here we are. Rhea Ripley came back. Tiffany Stratton. A lot going on down there.
Stephanie Vakir, everyone's calling the Powerpuff Girls.
Yes, Stephanie Vaquera. Yes.
Yeah,
Jada Parker and Lash Legend have been cooking down there. Shout out to them respectfully, of course.
shout out with all due respect.
NXT Homecoming, they popping off, man. Stop playing with them. We get to Monday Night Raw. The Usos are back together. They make their entrance together. Have a promo against Bronson and Braun. That's another match that we have official for WrestlePalooza. The Usos versus the Brons. Then it leads to LA Knights and Bronson Reed Scruffling. Then we get to a match. Before we get to that match later on in the night, Jay's about to leave, and then Jimmy's like, "Hey man, maybe we should be there to have LA's back." He's like, "What? Have his back? What's that gonna do for us? We're gonna let all of them acknowledge us. Come on now." And then he's like, "Man, you sound like Roman." And Jay's kind of like, "Yeah, all right." And then we get to it. Jimmy goes to make the save for LA Knight when he's getting attacked by the Brons. Jay Uso comes to help his brother, catches a spear from Braun Breaker. LA Knight with a chair to save the day. And then Jay Uso spears LA Knight. Not a heel turn, but just kind of like a, man, I got hurt because I'm trying to help you. So you're going to get this lick.
I'm interested to see where they go with the Jey Uso story. Um, like you said, I don't think it's a heel turn because to turn Jay heel currently, as much as I'm not a fan of his, he is still super over, and to turn him in this current spot he's in would be incredibly stupid. Now, would I be shocked if they do it? No, because they like the shock and awe of stuff like that. But, they are telling the story of maybe Jay kind of losing himself, but yet, the same Jey Uso was just WWE or world champion. So it's not like he's not like a Sami Zayn type where or pick your lovable loser who can't win the big one.
I think it's
He's not Mark Briscoe. Like Mark Briscoe's whole story, like he can't win like those main event level matches.
isn't he
Jay
the Ring of
has
Honor
done
world
that.
champion?
That'd be Jay.
No, talk about Mark Briscoe. Was it? Isn't he the
Well,
Ring of Honor champion?
we don't need don't let facts get in the way of a good story because we're talking about strictly about AEW stuff. And
Gotcha,
besides,
gotcha.
ROH, what is ROH anyways?
It used to be hot, but no, but yeah, I mean Jay, I think it's kind of like hey man, I got comfortable, I made it, I got the title, I got comfortable. He had that talk with Roman, and then like just taking it a little bit more seriously because serious Jay is my favorite Jay. That bloodline stuff, man, when he was all serious, he was just all business. So those are some of my favorite moments. So yeah, man, just take it a little bit more serious side. I don't have a problem with that. We can have serious baby faces. That's okay. Just because you're serious doesn't mean you're a heel and need to be booed. You can be a baby face. You can do the right thing, but still be serious and look out for yourself and for your family. You got what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, this whole time I feel like LA Knight has kind of been in the right in terms of like his gripes and stuff that's been going on. Like he should have been facing Seth Rollins one on one because he did beat Seth Rollins at
Yeah, no, yeah, no.
Saturday
He's,
Night's main
he's
event.
maybe he turns heel. Like, all right, I'm sick of this. Maybe that's what happens. I don't know. AJ Lee makes her return on Monday Night Raw. She skips out there, lets people know who she is, and she was gone for a decade. Thank you so much for the support. Becky Lynch comes out there, and basically we get to the point where AJ's like, "Well, if you're the greatest, like everybody says you are, then come get this championship." And I guess Becky had a shiner on her, so Seth comes out there. Are those cowboy Jordans? Or was that tripping? Are those cowboy boot Jordans?
I guess they're probably some sort of customizable shoe.
All right. And then he's doing that, says, I'm gonna get this title back for my wife. You can't have your match. I'm the world champion. That's not how this works. Punk comes out there, almost hits him with a GTS, and then they get their match. And then AJ Lee throws the IC title at Becky and Seth. So another WrestlePalooza. AJ Lee and CM Punk versus Seth Rollins and Becky Lynch. Can we do winner take all? Should we do that?
No, I think they're probably going to do a regular tag match and then you can build individually to title matches.
All right, Brandon, pop quiz. What mixed tag match resulted in a winner take all? It was for the men's Intercontinental Championship and the women's championship at the time.
What that was, I mean,
it's like 2008.
Oh, I was gonna say this wasn't the Seth Rollins Becky Lynch
No,
match.
no.
2008. Once again, that's my dead period. So Ah,
I think it was Kofi Kingston and Mickey James versus Glamorella.
how could I forget?
How
What
could you?
what a match!
Glamorella was popping. You tripping. AJ Styles cuts a promo on the commercial.
I didn't give my thoughts on my girl Age. I thought it
Oh,
was
okay,
a
I'm
great
sorry.
I thought it was a great segment. She kind of stood in there, talked forever, and could have teetered and could have been a little bit of a disaster. Like I said, like I didn't think she got the strongest of reaction coming out to the show, coming out to her entrance, but I thought she did win the crowd over. And Becky, Becky's current heel run, she's been kind of feuding with baby faces who are floundering, but going up against AJ, who is a strong baby face that people like, definitely is helping Becky, I think. And so I think this is
Becky's
like
the greatest of all time. Sports Illustrated talked about it.
exactly in Chicago Tribune or whatever else she was talking about. But I think this is kind of the perfect feud for Becky because she has someone who can match her star power and match her talking ability. Now in ring wise, we have to see where AJ is, but I thought this was a fantastic kind of segment, probably the highlight of the night, to be honest, on Raw.
Absolutely. AJ Styles promo on the commercial break. Somebody doesn't want me here. I'm all alone for the first time in a long time. Gallows and Anderson are gone. Meechin's doing God knows what. So it leads to him beating Grande Americano. What are your thoughts on this, bro? It's cut some promo during the commercial break of Raw. They throw it up on the YouTube and all the socials.
It's just one of those things that
Work shoot.
it's a work shoot. I mean, it's something for them that they know will gain traction because the people internationally or VPNs will see it and it'll get clipped and everyone will see it on the internet. And
I'm gonna call you big. That's your wrestling name, VPN.
yep. But yeah, AJ, it seems as though he posts that hourglass drawing on his Instagram, so it seems as though the end is near. I think what he said, like next February or something, is like the end of his contract. That not him saying it, but just kind of reported on what it is.
I really don't. God, he's phenomenal. He's phenomenal. Did you know that?
Yeah, he's been phenomenal for 20 years, 25 years now. The man
Oh,
wrestled in WCW.
the man wrestled at WC freaking W. It just if we can ever get that man on the show, we have to have a conversation. Brandon, like we have to have a conversation with that man.
Ask him about his presence in the gay community.
What?
The gay community?
What, brother? What?
You've never seen that video?
Oh yeah, yeah. We're not going to talk about that.
Okay.
What you call it? Oscar defeats Nikki Bella.
Yeah, I mean, a little shocking that they just kind of threw this match out there, and then Asuka just kind of straight up beat Nikki Bella, no underhanded tactics.
I mean, who is
Clearly,
better than
Asuka,
Oscar?
nobody. But clearly, like Asuka's turning heel. They're doing the whole bit with her yelling at Kyrie. Um, maybe this is them kind of
Yelling
realizing.
obscenities.
Maybe this is for them kind of realizing that Nikki Bella is not it. Nikki Bella might think she's as popular, at least in the wrestling world, as AJ Lee, but she is not, and it has not worked out.
Hey man, we not gonna do that to Nikki Bella. You gonna put some respect on her name. I'm not gonna have that. There will be no Nikki Bella slander on this podcast. Do I have to go over all the people you cannot slander on the show? Do I have to do that again?
We're gonna be here a while. It'll be a Chris Jericho list.
Hey, you just made the list. Come on now. AEW happened. Oh Jesus.
AEW did happen. They're still in the ECW arena. And Kyle Fletcher, or sorry, Hangman Page had a match with Josh Alexander, what you would think, very solid. He beats him. Kyle Fletcher then comes out and they have a promo back and forth. And, Hangman's kind of, I think, lost a little bit since his title win, just because you kind of don't know where he's going. And
So wait, hold on. Kyle Fletcher's still the TNT champ, right?
Yep, and they were going to have a match at All Out, and I believe it is just for the world title, so it telegraphs where this is going.
Title for title. Come on.
But Hangman talked about how Kyle Fletcher might be the future, but he's not the present. He's not ready yet. Should be an absolutely phenomenal match, but I don't think anyone believes Hangman Page will win. Now maybe they pull a shocker, and Kyle Fletcher does do it. I think he is, very talented, and WWE or AEW desperately needs to build future stars, because if you look
keep going while I step away for a second.
Because if you look at the babyface roster currently, it is Hangman Page, it is Darby Allin, and that is pretty much it. Everyone else is hurt. You got Ospreay, Swerve is hurt.
Speaking of, I mean, what's you're let me step away, and then we're going to talk about this Daniel Garcia thing because I have thoughts.
Yeah, so they cut a promo. It was pretty solid. And they advertised that match. Big Collision last week. They kind of set a lot of matches for All Out, including the Darby John Moxley coffin match. They did some other stuff, with Tony Storm. So, they had a lot of names on that show in Collision. They did an FTR Edge and Christian video package, kind of going over the history and how many titles and how decorated both tag teams are. FTR Stokely come out, complain. They yell at some troll, I guess, who was at the show, and then they attack a camera guy, and that was the angle. No Christian or Copeland in the building to seek retribution or to save the poor camera person. But yeah, so just very straightforward stuff. Get some heat on FTR. I would assume they're probably going to do a big angle or a big blow off something next week. Since it was the ECW arena, Philip, we did have a hardcore match, and this was Tony Storm doing her best Sandman cosplay. She drank a beer, bashed it over her head. She was using Singapore cane. She defeated Sky Blue. If you have not seen the videos, definitely not the most gruesome videos that were on the internet yesterday, but we did see some staples. We did see some staples being used all over the place on these poor women's bodies.
Are we allowed to talk about that?
And yeah, Tony Storm wins. And Tekla did come out, I believe, and also later out. So there's going to be a 4-way match for the women's title. Tony Storm, Tekla, Chris Statlander. I'm forgetting the third person, but clearly someone's going to lose to Tony Storm, or Tony Storm's not going to lose, but still lose the title. And then finally, Philip, we had one of those mega tag matches for a lot of money. Young Bucks ended up getting their money. They're going to get $500,000. So they're not broke anymore, but they probably are just going to spend it all because Nick said he's going to spend it all at the casinos later tonight. And Daniel Garcia, they've been teasing this for a little bit. Garcia and Moxley have had some matches on Collision, and Garcia joins the Death Riders, attacks Darby Allin. So no more hip thrust, hopefully, and we get serious wrestler Daniel Garcia.
Bro, Daniel Garcia, he was TNT champion already, huh?
Yep.
Can he just be a dog and just dominate?
I mean, I'm saying they need to build up stars. Now, it's more on the babyface side. I think they need to build up stars, but you can build heels and then turn the babyface eventually. And Daniel Garcia might be a little bit, damaged goods from the past runs he's had. It's kind of failed, definitely not as stop-start as Wardlow's been, but he's had his moments and it just never has completely clicked outside of him. He does the dance, which gets over, but I just think it takes away from his credibility and his overall character because he could just be, like you said, with Jey Uso, a straightforward, serious wrestler. And he has like kind of that, Buffalo tough guy charisma that not a lot of people have, that type. So we'll see how it plays out. Definitely, John Moxley's still the top dog on the Death Riders, but now he has a
I feel
more
like they should have went away.
Well, they're still here. Maybe the John Moxley goes away after the coffin match with Darby, and so Daniel Garcia kind of takes more of the.
Bro, did you see the way they stomped on Darby's head? That was crazy.
Yeah, they did do it again because they were clearly trying to do like a stomp on the chair, and he missed, and so they had to do it again. That's okay.
I don't know. Sometimes
that's okay. Happens to the best of us.
Sometimes that is okay. That is okay.
But yeah, that was Dynamite. Fine episode. They're in the same boat as WWE right now. 2 weeks out from the pay-per-view, so everything for the most part is pretty much set. So you're not going to see anything super crazy. Wrestling still, super crazy or was not on the show.
Yeah, super crazy.
But yeah, solid wrestling as you'd expect from AEW. Collision last week was pretty good because they had more star power than normal. Ratings, viewership wise, a little bit worrisome. I think in AEW has not been great. They did some record low viewership last week. I have not seen, or I don't know if they've announced the numbers yet for this week's. So AEW's got to do some soul searching. I think they're not a bad show by any means, but just numbers are not doing well.
Did we talk about what Bully Ray said, or should we say that? Should we do that now or talk about it next week?
I don't know. What did Bully Ray say? He always be saying something.
He talked about kind of the state of the AEW and like basically how Tony like is like wants to be one of the boys and not a boss.
That's been the fact for the entirety. That's how the CM Punk thing happened, is because he doesn't want to be a boss and sit everybody involved down and yell at them and set parameters and just be like, look, you might not like each other, but we're going to work together because all of you can help make everyone a bunch of money. So let's not be petty school children about it. And let's move forward.
Bro, because I just feel like, we know Vince didn't take no shit. He did in the Shawn Michaels aspect. A lot of shit was given to Vince, but Shawn was so good that he put up with it. But you just look at it, man. I don't know, like. I just keep thinking back to the whole All Out BS. Like, if that was Vince, he would have set all them down and they're like, all right, this is what we're going to do. We're going to do, like, because what All In happened when Punk came back, right? They should have did a big 6-man tag, the CM FTR versus the Elite, and they could have, it didn't have to be the main event, could have went on third to last. They would have made a shit ton of money.
Yep.
Because I don't know, man. Like, you look at the infrastructure, and then I heard Stat Guy Greg, which I think it's his birthday today. Shout out to him, Cheap Heat Podcast. He said this, and it made a lot of sense. Like, I don't know, man. Like, given whatever the hell Tony Khan feels about Vince or whatever, look at the business model. When Vince took over the company from his father, Vince Sr., who did he keep around? He kept around certain key players, like a Gorilla Monsoon, etc. Sat down, got information from them, picked their brains and took credit as the genius. Obviously Vince is a genius for certain aspects of the things he did. But yeah, man, I don't know, like Tony Khan, like if I were him in that position, like pull these guys and bring these guys in, like, all right, boom, boom, boom. What do we need to do to make this the best it can be, like, and then like certain guys left, like there were a lot of guys there. Obviously Cody left, which I still think Cody was really running the show up until his departure. Then you had guys like Mark Henry was there, he's gone. That's a wealth of knowledge. Like I don't know, he's Jerry Lynn. I don't know if he's still there. Just certain guys, or he could have even like people who had stepped away, like could have brought them in, like, hey, like let's do this. I don't know. Because I mean, he's willing to pay. We know Tony Khan's willing to pay.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a little chicken of the egg thing with AEW because they don't need to have stars. They don't have, they're not running big venues on a weekly basis outside their pay-per-views, but it's like you gotta build up stars to then get people in the buildings to then but then you need people in the buildings to make people look like stars, because if you're just doing this in front of a couple hundred people, 1,000 people in the ECW arena, it does come across to the average person like it's low rent, and it's frankly like, Impact.
I mean, that's better than it being in a 10,000 seater and only 2,500 people are there.
And that's the other thing. So it's like, there's pros and cons to everything you can pick. Should they be in a bigger venue that looks better, but clearly it's not going to sound as great? It's not going to sound like they're all sold out and there's 10,000 people there. You can't do those big aerial shots, or do you pack everyone in like sardines to 1,000 people? Everyone's hot, but just visually, it doesn't look the best.
Or even if people bought upper deck seats, maybe just like, hey, we're going to move you to this other side. Don't worry about that. I don't know. Like a lot of things could have been done. Obviously, we don't run giant corporations like that, but I just feel like other things could have been done because I mean, when did it start dying off with the crowd? Like when was that pinpoint? Because it was like a cool year and a half of those just empty shows.
Well, once again, don't toot my home, but I feel like the MJF Adam Cole era did do some damage to AEW, but it also correlates. You see the correlation. AEW was hot, WWE was not. WWE gets hotter back in 2020 to 2021. There was that period towards the end of 21 when CM Punk comes back. So and Roman was doing his things. There was, probably one of the hottest moments in wrestling since the Attitude Era because both companies were so good. But then, 22 comes around, then WWE gets really hot, and 23 gets really hot. That's when all the CM Punk stuff happens, and he's gone, and yeah. So it's probably been a good, for end of 25, I'd probably say a good year and a half to 2 years that they've kind of been struggling in terms of, filling crowds on a weekly basis. In terms of, dynamites and definitely collisions.
Yeah.
I mean, when did we go to that collision show where I ripped my pants? It was like 2 years ago.
Yeah.
That was right before Full Gear, which was 23. So.
Yeah, that was a lot. All right, ladies and gentlemen, to live and die in SJ UG was happening this Saturday. You don't want to miss it. Isaiah Bronson versus Kenny K for the Gatekeeper title. San Jose Championship match. Brooke Havoc versus Anton Voorhees. Fatal four-way. Dave Reckoning, Nick Xander, G Sharp, and Alpha Zoe are going to go at it. Piece of the East title. Bushwick Balls versus Big Baby Powder. Tag team match. Tanaya and Mighty Myra going up against Monsters Inc. Dave Dutra versus Sir Michael Windsor. Jin Silvani versus Joey Gonzo. And of course, Jordan Cruz can become a 3-time UGWA champion. He's going to be as DJ Fresh, the current UGWA champion. Not to mention the Solano Stroll is happening this Sunday. You do not want to miss it. It is going down in Berkeley, California. Let's see. Here it is. Solano Stroll, free show. You don't want to miss it. We're going to be in front of the Chase Bank, 870 Solano Avenue. We're going to have wrestling at noon, 2 p.m., and 4 p.m. You don't want to miss it. Thank you guys so much. As always, be safe and stay dangerous. Yes, sir.